Hey guys, it's Daryl who's in Simple Living. So worm castings, you hear all about. That is probably the best amendment you can make to your soil. I have a compost tumbler that I use, but when you read up everything, you watch YouTube videos, they're talking about worm castings as being just really so valuable. I haven't ever used any, but I want to try that. So I went to my wife and I said, "Hey Erin, I want some worms. I want some worms to help my garden." She said, "Well, you already got earthworms." I said, "No, I'm talking about worms that can compost. They eat our vegetables and things that we have left over from our meals, and they create worm castings." "No, you're not going to do that." "So where are you going to put them?" I said, "Well, baby, you can go and get a kit. You can build a structure that's going to facilitate those worms, and how you get the worm compost. You got these trays and so forth." So anyhow, I ordered a kit. This is not sponsored. Ordered a kit. This is from the Worm Factory. So this video, I'm not going to go into all the great things or do all the research like I normally do in vermiculture, vermi-composting. What I'm going to do is go ahead and this is just going to be an unbox, put together, and set up, and I got some worms I'm going to go ahead and put into it. And that's going to be the video, just to kind of show you how this process goes to set up a vermiculture, set up at your house so you can get your own worm castings to support your garden. Let's do that now. Alright, so here we got the Worm Factory 360, black 360. We're just going to unbox and put together. That's all we're going to do in this video. So we got these different levels. You got like 4 levels, I believe. Here's your base. So they do give you supplies to go ahead and get your worms started. So this is kind of looks like a peat moss or a coconut core or something. This is just newspaper basically. I know most of us don't get the newspaper anymore, but it's basically just cut up newspaper. Let's see, we also have, I guess this may be lava rock, pumice, okay. Got some pumice we'll add in. We do have a temperature gauge, which is important, especially here in southeast Louisiana. Rock dust as well. Let's run out of room here. I guess a scraper, I don't know what that's for. We'll find out. There's different trays. So each one of these trays are the same. They have these different mesh pattern in here. And I guess that allows the worms to come in and out. First thing you got to do though is we're going to go ahead and mix the medium that we're going to put down that the worms will be able to kind of get started off in. So we're going to mix half of the core, half of this. So half of the core and half of the shredded paper. That's these guys here. So we're going to add in about half of this paper. Add a small amount of water to ensure a slight dampness in the mixture. We're going to mix it all up. Needs a little bit more because what it says is it wants you to be able to squeeze it and you get 1 or 2 drops out of it. I don't think I'm supposed to be getting all the instructions soaking wet, but hey, that's okay. So now we got the half of the paper, half of the core. We're going to mix it with half of the pumice. And then 1 tablespoon of rock dust. So what we're trying to do is create just the perfect conditions for these guys to be able to multiply. That's probably about half. All right, so we added about half of the pumice now too. Kind of mix, give it a good mix. Now I gotta get a tablespoon. Tell you what, I'm gonna approximate here. We're gonna go about a tablespoon of this rock dust. That's probably pretty good, about right there. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of give this a good stir. All right, next step is we're gonna go ahead and put this in the first tray. We're gonna add this to the tray. Now real quick, before I go any further, I gotta make sure I go and put this, the lychee in place. Alright, so I'm gonna add that in so we can run off the fluid, the lychee, as it collects in here. This is the worm ladder. Worm ladder goes just right here. What that does, it allows the worms that maybe get through, they'll be able to come back up. Okay, so we have the empty tray, and we now fill with some of the core, the rock dust, pumice, and we're going to also go ahead and add some compost. Alright, so one thing I did miss was you want to go ahead and put a piece of paper, so I actually used part of the instructions and put it down in the bottom. What we want to do is add 2 or 3 cups of our food. You're going to put in here. So I got an assortment of veggies that are kind of ready to go, some greens and things of that nature, so we'll go ahead and put that in. We're just going to keep all this good and moist till the worms arrive, which I got them already, but I'm going to kind of follow the process. Alright, so now it's time to add the worms. Fun. Alright, these are the worms. There's 250 worms, I think. This is Uncle Jim's worm farm. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove this paper for the time being. We're going to go ahead and add the worms. Yeah, they're still doing good. We'll use this wet paper to cover them back up again. Alright, next it says basically we're going to place the lid on. It's the worm factory. It's got the nice little thing on the top. We'll end up taking it off, but that's good for now. Put the lid on and don't disturb them for the next 2 or 3 days as they kind of adjust. I always talk about being organic. One of those key things being organic is being able to add organic matter to your garden. One of those best kinds of compost or organic matter you can add is worm casting. Using a setup like this, we can then be able to apply worm castings directly from our house, while at the same time be able to take some of our food waste, vegetables especially, and feed it to these worms. They'll turn it into worm castings, so it makes sense kind of all around. So it's fun to try it out. My wife don't want it inside, but it's kind of hot out here, so we may keep it inside for the time being, or at least through the top of the summer, and we'll see how it works out. I'll give you an update in upcoming videos. If you haven't yet, subscribe please. It means a lot to me and the channel. Like that video, and feel free to share this. Then consider having your own vermicompost setup at your own home to get your own worm casting. Saves money, feeds the soil, not the plant, which is absolutely key. Feed that soil, not the plants. Take care of that soil, it will take care of the plants, which will take care of your harvest. As I always say, don't forget to make memories now rather than later. And as always, I will see you on the next video.